Alright, hey guys, it's Desiree. If you're new, welcome to my channel, and if you're a returning viewer, welcome back. I appreciate each and every one of you. Today's video is kind of like a part 2 to a previous video I posted a little while ago, which was how to collaborate with brands, or my tips and tricks for collaborating with brands. So I will link that in the iCards. If you haven't watched it yet, I suggest watching that one first, because that one is more of a general tips and tricks, where this video is going to focus specifically on media kits and how to create one, what they're for, etc, etc. Like I said, it'll be in the iCards. I would suggest watching that one first and then coming back to watch this one in order to have like the best information I can give you. I think that's the most effective way to watch these videos. Oh, why is someone starting their loud car right now? Now, before we start, I do want to preface, I am not trained, I am not some kind of social media specialist at all. This is just personally like my advice, what I personally do and what works for me. So this is all just subjective information that I am sharing with you guys because I personally have found it is effective for myself. Yes, bye-bye. I personally reach out to brands majority of the time by email. I prefer to reach out by email. To me, it seems more professional. Some brands do require you to reach out by DM. I don't do that often. Majority of the time, if I can find an email, I'm reaching out by email. I want to write them an email to present myself and my idea, what my intentions of emailing are, all of that stuff. But I've said it in my last video and I will say it again, brands have high volumes of emails and they don't have time to be reading, especially bigger brands, lengthy emails. They don't need all your information on one email, because also you have to understand that a brand is going to look at every potential collaboration coming in and they're not always going to respond to all of them. They know the kind of influencers they work with, they know the kinds of influencers they want to work with. So if you don't fit that bill right off the bat, they're just not going to read the rest of your email. So it's just a waste of your time and it's a waste of their time to write paragraphs upon paragraphs. So you want to condense your email as much as possible. You want to be short and sweet. Main goal when writing an email for a collaboration, short and sweet. You want to get to the point so they know what it is you want. Short and sweet. That's all they need. This isn't a video on how to write emails, although if you are interested in that, I can film a video about that, so comment down below if that is something you'd want to see. But this is specifically about your media kit, and what your media kit is it's an attachment. It's a PDF that you're going to send along with your email. Your video is going to have, oh my god, let's bring myself back on track. Once someone said I have a subway instead of a train of thought, and I don't think he was wrong. But anyway, as I was saying, your email, like I said, is going to be short and sweet, but you don't want to have a ton of correspondence with these people. I mean, you can, it's not a bad thing, but it is easier if they can read your initial email and then say, yeah, we want more information on this individual. And then they have the opportunity right then and there to click into your media kit and have that additional information on you, which is so beneficial and just very, very helpful for them. So with that is where your media kit comes in. This is where you want your additional information that still pertains to a collaboration, is still important to the brand to know, but it's not something they need initially when they read your introduction. And this is also information that's for the most part going to stay the same every time you reach out to a brand. It's not going to be, it's very unique to each person, but for the most part, a media kit is going to stay pretty stationary with just some small tweaks here and there. The first thing on my media kit, and I will put it on screen so you guys can see exactly what I'm talking about, the first thing on my media kit is my name. I want brands to know who they're talking to. That's the most important thing. Who am I? As well, there's going to be a picture of myself. That just gives context. It helps them know who they're talking to. It helps them know gender, because they might be confused if you have a gender neutral name. It helps them know age, well, roughly your age. Some brands prefer to have a target age for their audience. As well, it just puts a name to a face. The next thing I have on my media kit is just a little about me section. This is where you can give a general idea of why you're reaching out to brands. And again, this is going to be very general because it's going to stay the same for every brand you're reaching out to. So if you're reaching out to a sports brand, this isn't going to be tailored to a sports brand. This is just going to be generalized. You get the idea. So I'm going to read you guys mine right now. Basically what mine says is I'm an upcoming influencer on the social media platforms YouTube and Instagram. Twice on my media kit it says what brand or what media platforms I'm on, which is really important because some brands focus more on certain media platforms. Next, I said I find pride in sharing honest reviews and opinions with my audience and appreciate your help in doing so. That is 100% true. It's my favorite thing about being an influencer. I'm a very opinionated person and I love to share my opinions. I love to give advice. So that is very short and sweet, and then I just thank them for their time and consideration. That's my very straight to the point. What social media platforms am I on and why I'm reaching out. So like I said, that is very general. I can send that to any brand and it applies. Over to the left of that, underneath my picture is where I said I have my 2 logos. So I have an Instagram logo and I have a YouTube logo. Again, this is just so they are aware that these are the social media platforms I am currently creating content on. Then underneath of that, I have a big bold number. That's my collective YouTube subscribers plus my Instagram followers combined to that number. And that number, I usually round it up or down to give more of a general because numbers tend to fluctuate. I personally have a very small following on both platforms. I'm what you would call a micro influencer. I'm not a large influencer. As I was saying, I am the definition of a micro influencer. I have under 1,000 on both platforms. So therefore, I combine my numbers. It does sort of upsell me a little bit because it makes it look like my numbers are higher. But it also just doesn't make sense for me to put my specific numbers because I 100% for the most part promote on both platforms. So when I get products, so either way they're going to be my audience that I'm going to be reaching out to is that full 880 because I post on my Instagram and then also on my YouTube. If you are a larger YouTuber or like a larger content creator, I feel like I'm not talking properly, but I am. If you're a larger content creator and you have bigger numbers, you could separate the two. I personally choose to combine my numbers. Next, my media kit is divided with a heading that says brands I've worked with. This is where you're going to put brands that have collaborated with you before, whether that's by sending you products, by running promotions with you, running giveaways with you, any kind of collaboration that you've done with a brand you want to put there because this just shows that other brands are interested in you, so it kind of gives them more of like that competitive nature. This is kind of more of like a psychological thing, but like, oh, other people want them so we want them too doesn't always work. Doesn't mean just because you have brands there means other brands are going to work with you. But that can add to it as well, though. It just shows that you've worked with other brands, so you are more of like a trustworthy, reliable person to collaborate with. They see that this isn't your first rodeo. Usually I change them more like to the more recent ones. If let's say a brand wanted to double check that I actually did collaborate with these brands, it's going to be easier for them to find those brand collaborations because they're most recent than if they were going to try to look for a brand collaboration that I did say 2 years ago. The last thing I add on my media kit is my sample work. This is just going to show them, obviously they can go check out your Instagram, they can go check out your YouTube. I can't give them a sample YouTube video in a PDF, so they will have to follow links for that. But essentially, you are giving them like a taste of what you can do. I personally would suggest putting your best photos here. Everybody has their own style of content that they create, so being able to have an example of the content you create is going to help them decide if you are creating content in a style that they want. Well, a major part of media kits that I personally do not include in my media kit solely due to personal preference is my analytics, like your demographics, so like what region, what country people your audience is majority from, what gender your audience majority is, age your audience majority is, amount of engagement you normally get on a post, the average amount of views you get on videos, the average amount of likes, all of that kind of stuff, like the numbers stuff. I personally don't really look at the number stuff regarding like even just for myself, so I don't include it for brands as well. Like I said, I'm very, very much a small YouTuber. I'm very much a micro influencer. I'm just a small content creator in general, so it's not really even accurate because my numbers and my views and my likes fluctuate so often that it's not really even going to give them an accurate idea of how their post is going to do, because it really fluctuates so often depending on the post. Therefore, that's why I stick to just like the strictly like, ma'am. That is my overall, how I set up my media kit, what I include in my media kit. Otherwise, I hope this video helped you guys. If you don't already have a media kit, maybe now you'll go and create one. You guys know the drill, and I will see you all next week. Peace out.